They did it. They finally did it. WWE finally got Roman Reigns cheered. A lot of people saying they finally got him over. He's been over for a long, long time. All those people that say the Roman Reigns experience failed have absolutely no idea what they are talking about. He gets one of the loudest, any card that John Cena's not on, Roman Reigns gets the loudest reaction of anybody else on the show. Positive, negative, it doesn't matter. They are making noise. If the Roman Reigns experience failed, people would be sitting on their hands saying absolutely nothing. The fact that they boo him louder than anybody else proves that it worked. Did he become the top babyface like they wanted to? No, but he became the top star. He became the new cool guy to boo, just like John Cena was and still is. John Cena gets the loudest reaction of any show he's ever on. And if you go to house shows, in the last 8 years, I've been to like 70-something WWE shows. Roman Reigns, over the last 3-4 years, has gotten cheered at 99% of the host shows I've been to that I've seen. He gets the loudest babyface reaction there. It's just on television, generally, that he gets booed. Which is fine. He gets the loudest reaction. That's all that matters. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is WWE finally got the television audience to cheer Roman Reigns. They chanted, "We want Roman," at the end of Raw last week. Brock Lesnar was in the ring with Paul Heyman, and they were chanting, "We want Roman, we want Roman." WWE, in my opinion, I'm sure they know what they're doing. They missed more so than I do, missed a huge opportunity, I think, to get that huge pop for Roman Reigns that they could use in video packages leading up to SummerSlam. Even if the crowd was just like joking, chanting, "We want Roman," they would have popped huge if his music hit and he sprinted down that ramp and either went one-on-one with Brock Lesnar, they brawled, or Brock Lesnar cowered from the ring, which personally is what I would have done, because it would have got Roman Reigns cheered even more, showing that Brock Lesnar was cowering away from Roman Reigns leading up to their match. I would have loved to have seen that. Even if that wasn't in the plan, if they weren't expecting that Roman Reigns cheer, which they probably weren't, probably hoping for, but they probably weren't expecting it to actually happen. I think that they should have called an audible, sent Roman to the ring, and have been like, boom, big cheer. We want Roman, we want Roman. Speaking of SummerSlam, now, said in my last video, I fully expect this match to turn into a 3-way, a fatal 4, or Braun Strowman cashes in, turns it into a 3-way or fatal 4, something along those lines. I hope he does it. I hope Brock Lesnar actually keeps the championship and wins the UFC championship next year and then holds both belts up in the octagon. How sweet would that be for WWE? I don't think they'll do that, but I kind of hope that they do. But let's just say that the plan is to take the belt off Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. So what do? He's probably not going to want to be pinned going into his match with his fight with Daniel Cormier. Does it really matter if he's pinned or not? No, but he probably wants to keep up that mystique that he's unbeatable, and it would help if Brock Lesnar ever came back to WWE and wanted to challenge for the title again. He could say that I never lost the belt and blah, 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 things like that. So what's going to happen? Is Roman Reigns going to beat Lesnar clean? Probably not. Is Bobby Lashley somehow going to get into this match and beat Lesnar clean? No, but then you have that situation where Roman could beat Bobby, or Bobby could beat Roman for that title. Or you have either one of them beating each other, and then Braun Strowman cashes in. Or even Braun Strowman cashes in like Seth Rollins did and wins the title that way. But then you have Paul Heyman. What's Paul Heyman's role going to be? Let's go back about 16 years. I believe it was Survivor Series 2002. I believe it was at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Paul Heyman was with Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman turned on Brock Lesnar and went with the Big Show, helping the Big Show beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE Championship. Was it WWE then? Yeah, it was WWE then. WWE Championship. So let's say, what do you think? Is Paul Heyman going to go with Roman Reigns? I think that would be amazing. I think out of everybody, if you stuck Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns, that's your best possible outcome, because you're either going to turn him completely heel or the crowd's going to get behind him because Paul Heyman is going to cut some killer promos for him. He's sticking with Bobby Lashley. I'm a fan of Bobby Lashley. I met Bobby Lashley at UFC 79, sat next to him during the Vanderlei Silva, Chuck Liddell, Matthews, George St. Pierre fight card at the Mandalay Bay in Vegas there. Nice guy. Took a picture with him. It's funny, a lot of people thought he was Anderson Silva, but he's like 3 times bigger than Anderson Silva. But anyway, he super nice guy, but I don't think he's getting over as much as WWE hoped he would, and frankly as much as I hoped he would. He's such a talented dude. It looks amazing, but he's just not getting over with the crowd as much. So you could stick Paul Heyman with him and it might help him, but I think sticking him with Roman Reigns is your best possible outcome. Or you could just do a one-off, have him come out with Braun Strowman and have Braun Strowman cash in Money in the Bank. He doesn't have to stick around with Braun Strowman, but that would be a pretty cool angle to do for a little while, or I don't really know where you would go with that, because Braun Strowman doesn't need Paul Heyman. Braun Strowman can cut a promo. Braun Strowman's a giant, like bigger than Brock giant. So I don't think Braun Strowman needs him, but that could be a cool dynamic. But I think the thing that makes the most sense is to stick him with Roman Reigns. Stick Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns. But what do you think is going to happen? Braun Strowman, I think, is going to cash in at SummerSlam. It's just a matter of who he's going to beat. I don't think Lesnar's going to get pinned, so he's going to either pin Roman Reigns, or if somehow Bobby Lashley gets into that match, he'll pin Bobby Lashley. But I think Braun Strowman walks out of Barclays Center, your new WWE champion. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's the way it's going, especially after Brock Lesnar, unless it's a complete swerve where, Brock Lesnar is going to retain, Paul Heyman isn't going to turn on Brock Lesnar. It was just a swerve on everybody, just to have another shock of Brock Lesnar retaining, just like he did at WrestleMania, just like he did at the greatest Royal Rumble. If Brock does retain, though, I wouldn't expect to see him maybe one other time on television before his fight with Daniel Cormier, either next January, next March, somewhere around there. He's not eligible to fight until January, but rumors that fight's in March. But yes, I don't think you'll expect to see him much before that. Something else that's going on, rumor has it, Anderson Silva versus George Rush St. Pierre is going to happen. It's going to happen 8 years too late, but it's still going to happen. It's still going to be a really cool thing. I really wish it would have happened in both guys' prime, when Anderson Silva was just crushing people. Now, George St. Pierre is still in his prime. He just won the middleweight title from Michael Bisping, but he's still a beast. But I think it's going to be a cakewalk of a fight for George St. Pierre at this point in time. Anderson Silva is not the same guy that he used to be. I wish that he was, but at this point in time, it's going to be an easy fight for George St. Pierre. But the hype will be cool. The spectacle of seeing those two guys in the octagon will be cool. And who knows? Maybe Anderson Silva will train his butt off for George St. Pierre and be able to turn in another amazing outing just like he used to. Maybe he's just been bored with the lack of competition. Who knows? But his last couple of years, he has not looked like the same Anderson Silva that we're used to. George St. Pierre has got one fight in the last 4 or 5 years, and he won the middleweight title. So he's still got it. But the rumor is it's going to be at a catch weight somewhere around 180 pounds. Anderson would probably want 180 pounds. I've heard that George St. Pierre is walking around somewhere around 178. So it won't make that big of a difference for George. I understand it'll only be a 5 more pound weight cut than he's used to. He's fought lower than that before. I mean, he is older now, so it might be a little bit harder for him, but it shouldn't be too much of a big deal, I wouldn't imagine. But that's the rumor. I don't know when that fight's going to happen. It could happen at Madison Square Garden this November. Also, Conor McGregor is rumored to be coming back really, really soon. Rumor has it that he's going to fight Khabib. That's not really rumor. That's like a given, right? And if he beats Khabib Nurmagomedov, George St. Pierre then wants to cut the 55 and fight Conor McGregor for the UFC lightweight championship, making him the first ever person that would be able to hold 3 titles in 3 different weight divisions. That would be the biggest fight in the history of the world. But what if Conor McGregor beats George St. Pierre? Kidding me? That would make Conor McGregor the biggest, most famous, most successful mixed martial artist of all time. So, but George said he doesn't want to fight Khabib. If Khabib wins, now that's just saying that Conor can get past Khabib. Khabib will be Conor's toughest fight by a long shot. That guy is a machine. But judging on Khabib's last fight, he did show a couple of holes in his game, not much, but it is something for Conor to be able to work with. So there is a chance Conor can beat Khabib. All Conor has to do is land that left hand, and I don't care who you are, you're going night-night. Look what he did to Eddie Alvarez. Like, he dropped Eddie Alvarez multiple times with just punches, and dominated him. He starched Jose Aldo in Jose Aldo's prime in like 13 seconds. There's a giant truck coming towards me, and the road isn't big enough for both of us. Starched Jose Aldo in 13 seconds. In Aldo's prime. Beat Chad Mendes, beat Dustin Poirier, beat Eddie Alvarez. He's beat everybody he's fought in the UFC. So if he was somehow able to beat Khabib and then somehow able to beat George St. Pierre, which by the way are both horrible matchups for Conor McGregor because they're both extremely strong wrestlers. Khabib's like Sambo background. George St. Pierre doesn't have an actual wrestling background, but clearly he was the best wrestler in the welterweight division for years, mixed martial arts wrestling. They're both horrible matchups for Conor, but you can never count the notorious Conor McGregor out of a fight. He is in that fight. He is in a fight more than anybody else is going to be in a fight. So, because all it takes is one shot. George has been knocked out before. Khabib never has, but if Conor lands that granite left hand on the chin of Khabib, it's night-night. It's night-night for anybody he lands that hand on. Well, guys, that's it for right now. If you liked this video, hit that thumbs up button for me. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. newscott.com, youtube.com/newscott. Anyone will get you here. I keep wanting to say my old channel URL, which isn't actually my old channel. It was just a channel I originally used before. But newscott.com or youtube.com/newscott will get you here. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for your support, and I'll see you again soon.